here we have them, just finishing up the shuffling process. And I gotta tell you, the shuffling process takes a little bit longer here, as Victor is bringing not only 40 cards in his main deck.
41?
It's a little bit more
42.
even, I would say. No,
Don't say 43.
It's getting closer to 60 as far as I'm aware. And yeah, he's combining the Mikanko cards with the Libromancer cards, so very powerful engines, both ritual engines, and let's see what he's having here. Normal Summon Diviner of Herald to start things off here.
And that is not ideal. We can already see in Victor's hand there are combo pieces that you don't want to draw. It is the Draco Bag and Renaud, and we are seeing Havness activated. Nibiru is crucial information, but also Havness was hit with the Havness as well, so we are going to see some changes.
Yeah, Havness and Tearlaments Kashtira were hit, so Tearlaments Kashtira is such a crazy addition to the Tearlaments deck, because it's not only another mill card, but it's also on summon a pretty good card, and it's another name you can fusion summon with, which is even better. So you have more names you can hit to actually bring out the kit colors that we're going to see here.
Keep in mind, it is a psychic type, so it's not an aqua monster, but it works as the Tearlament name.
Yes, which you need for Tearlament's kit colors, of course. So we're now resolving the Herald of Arclight that was sent by the Diviner of the Herald. Let's figure out what we're searching here. He had a lot of monsters in his starting hand already, and as you said, a couple of them were really not the ones you want to draw, but he's going for one that you really want to have in your hand, otherwise you wouldn't search it with the Diviner here, and it is Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko. The also powerful, even though attackless boss monster of the Ohime archetype.
And this is really the card you want to have. This is what this deck is based around. This card gives you access to any Mikanko card in your deck, then you will have to get rid of one card in your hand. After that, this card is pretty powerful on this field because it can equip cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the opponent's turn from the GY, and that is so powerful because you can also equip them to your opponent's side of the field, and some of them work like Snatch Steal, so it would be Arabesque, I think. No, I think I got that one wrong again. I keep confusing.
Yeah, he's playing 3 different equip spells, and I think you were talking about the Reflection Rondo.
Reflection Rondo.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, the deck also is featuring the Adventure Engine, which we haven't seen a whole lot of lately, but we had to start our turn off by normal summoning the Diviner and using the effect on normal summon. Therefore, the Adventure Engine this turn is not going to come in anymore, because you're not allowed to normal summon, or you're not allowed to use the effect of normal summon monsters and the Rite of Aramezi at the same time.
Usually you play around that by going into Sprite Elf at some point of the combo and then special summoning back the Herald to get then access to your other Herald from the extra deck and add the Ohime.
Yep, that usually is the plan. And now we have Tearlaments Roll Colors on board for Tim Schafer here already, so any attempt of Victor to special summon cards here will probably be denied by that Roll Colors now on the field.
And that is an issue because he really wants to summon that Geek Boy from hand.
Yep, you spotted that Geek Boy in hand already, but let's see whether Tim is even going to go after it.
However, I think that Ohime can just search out for a really good equip card.
Yeah, he could do that. He could do that, for sure. That is actually true, yeah. He can actually, by having so many monsters... Oh, and we're not even done fusion summoning it. We're also just, because we can summon out Garura here on the opponent's turn, which is not going to have an immediate effect, but of course, as a monster on the field is already quite good. It gives you link material, it gives you the graveyard effect whenever it is getting to the graveyard, so definitely not too bad to have it there.
So what you can do is activate the Ohime and search out for the Reflection Mirror, or, much better, the card that we were talking about earlier, I think in private though, and that is the Arabesque.
Yeah, of course, the Mikanko Water Arabesque. He's playing quite a few equip cards, and I mean, it makes sense. You have to play a couple of equip spells because you are actually playing Isolde in your extra deck, and Isolde is basically your main enabler for the combo, and therefore you need to play at least 4 to special out level 4 monsters.
And you can also see another reason why Isolde is so great. It is the Renaud in hand of Victor. So Renaud does not have to activate the effect to special summon itself, and then you have a tuner that is special summoned to your field that you can add off Isolde for a free summon.
Indeed it is. So, and of course he has a Renaud in hand, but not only that, but he also has the Magical Warrior of the Relics in hand, so he really drew the 2 pieces that he does not want to draw. I mean, you're playing 60 cards for a reason.
Don't forget about the Draco back.
Yeah, you're lowering the chance of drawing specific cards that you don't want to draw in your opening hand, and he basically drew 3 of them immediately. That's pretty crazy, not gonna lie. Yeah, and the Magical Warrior of the Relics, some of you might be asking, why are you even running that? Because that's not usually the adventure card you want to go for. You know that there's the Griffin Rider, which is also running, and of course the Illegal Knight. But this one very specifically, of course, is a Warrior, which helps to go into the Isolde combo, of course. So
and now he already has it, but he cannot special summon it because there is no Adventurer token on the field, and I don't think it's so easy to get one here.
I mean, it's basically impossible because he cannot activate Rite of Aramasi anymore. So Tim is reading up now on Ohime. I think we got a translation for him as well because Victor is from France and probably his cards are in French. So whenever you are at a YCS, even in the featured match, you can always ask judges for translations of every card you cannot read yourself. And he's not fetching out the Water Arabesque. He's instead going for the quick spell. He goes for the Great Mikanko Ceremony.
And that is one that immediately specials the Ohime from hand.
That is indeed true.
Until the end phase of next turn, then it gets added back to the hand, which is also really cool because then you can activate the Ohime effect in hand again.
But let's see whether it even is going to stay on the field for that long. And we are discarding the Draco bag now.
So at no point in this game, Victor...
But first of all, we go for the Libromancer Fire. And that, of course, wants to special summon itself out. And we know that Tim has a way to stop that, but he doesn't. He decides to let it go through, and Libromancer Fire, or Fire Libromancer, is using its effect on the field now.
And now it can add a Libromancer Spell Trap card.
I think, first of all, we're searching a monster. And that
wait, this one is monsters.
Yeah, first monsters, but then we can search for the spell card searcher. So
I thought that was Geek Boy, not Fire.
Yeah,
I get these cards confused.
Yeah, they look very similar, but this is Fire first. And honestly, I don't know if I would have let that through in the shoes of Tim, because that one Fire Libromancer is snowballing into quite a bit, because we are now getting the Geek Boy, as you see it there on the screen, and then Geek Boy, as you just said, can get you the spell card. For example, the first appearance, which is the field spell, and that gets you to quite a lot. And now we have a level 2. Oh no, wait, which level is the... Herald. It's level...
Herald is level 6
Diviner.
now.
It's level 6, so that would be instant access to Baron as well, as we see it here, because there's the Fire Libromancer being level 4, and then also the Diviner being level 6, so that's dangerous for me to let that all resolve, honestly.
Geek Boy is now destroyed by the Roll Colors effect after being activated here. So now we can still go for the Baron. Roll Colors, of course, stopping the activation of Geek Boy.
And I mean, the thing is, Geek Boy needs to special summon itself first to actually search out the spell, so he was definitely right in interrupting that. The thing is, why didn't we go into the Baron first of all? Because reading up on Geek Boy, it says you can reveal one ritual monster in your hand and then a special summon this card from your hand. So you don't need the fire on the board. So why not be safe and just summon the Baron on the floor before? I mean, maybe we still have enough plays. We keep on going. Honestly, his opening hand looked pretty brutal, but he still is playing through here. He is using the card that he searched earlier on. He's using the Great Mikanko Ceremony to now summon out Ohime, and he also is using the graveyard effect of the Mikanko Ceremony in graveyard immediately. So he can actually use each effect of the Great Mikanko Ceremony per turn. And so he keeps on going here. I like it. I'm interested to see where this is going, because this is probably not going to be like the standard end board that you expect from this deck, but he has to come up with something here on the spot that also makes him, gets him into a winning position somehow.
I think that is the Arabesque, and he is going to use the Mikanko effect to use the Arabesque, or to get it to the field and equip it to the Roll Colors, and now he's going to special summon a monster that is not Tearlament Roll Colors from the main deck, which would be a hard task to do because it is an extra deck monster, and this is where the Roll Colors will go back after that.
Look, we just special summon out the Hari, the Sword Mikanko, and it's even in Collector's Rare. Nice little card from Amazing Defenders there, and also bouncing the Rule Colors back to the extra deck. So even though it's our own turn, our first turn, we're already breaking the opponent's board while building up our own combo board here. This is really cool.
The best thing is that the Arabesque now attaches itself to the Hari, triggering the Hari.
Searching out another equip spell.
The Reflection Mirror.
That is the Reflection Mirror indeed. So I thought that Libromancer Fire is going to snowball very heavily, but actually the Mikanko engine here is really, really getting Victor started. He's getting card after card from his deck, already accomplished quite a bit of card advantage here in this situation. Also getting rid of Rule Colors in the process, having a negate with Baron de Fleur already up on board, so this is really good.
Another interaction would be the Ohime as well.
Yeah.
So there is a lot now. I have to read up on Ohime now if it can also attach from hand, because right now the card that you want to have in your GY is in your hand because Hari searched it.
No, it has to be in the graveyard.
Yeah.
It has to be in the graveyard.
So he special summons Renaud, and then you cannot equip the Renaud itself with it, but he can try to take the Garura, which would give your opponent a draw, but one less monster. I think the draw will get off anyways.
Yeah, at some point it will. You don't want to negate that with Baron. The Baron negate is too valuable to actually use it on that. And the good thing about Hari is that it's a fire warrior as well, which enabled the Renaud in our hand. That was sitting there all the time, not really being the best draw ever, but now we finally got to summon it out because we were able to special out Hari from the deck, and I think we're even going to be able to go for a Synchro 4 here. Look, we first of all in our turn dumped a Herald of the Arclight from our extra deck to the graveyard, and now we even get to summon one as well. And this card on the field is honestly super strong. Not only the graveyard effect is super impactful, but also the on-field effect says any monster sent from the hand or from the main deck to the graveyard is banished instead, which is versus the good old deck that is Tearlaments here on the other side. Super, super strong.
Would have been much cooler if it had a Macrocosmos-ish effect, so on the field would work as well, so you could actually use Baron to pop the Garura and not get the draw.
Yeah, that would have been even better, but still, I mean, you are actually, like, shutting down the Rhino Heart, you're kind of making Merly a lot worse. Oh, but we can just take the Garura over with the Arabesque.
And then we are popping the Garura immediately with the Baron. You can do that every turn, not like the negation effect, and we are getting the mirror, the reflection mirror.
Yeah, I was about to say, it wasn't Arabesque, it was the Reflection Rondo, I'm sorry. But that reminds me of Snatch Steal. That card is long gone, but this card is super similar to it, honestly. So,
and now we have Arclight, Baron, and the Ohime.
Yeah, who could have seen that coming? Because his opening hand really looked not that great, and his opponent with his Halfness Mill triggered 2 fusion summons, and still it looked pretty solid what Victor came up with here.
Now we are having Pearl Rhino, and Pearl Rhino is honestly one of the best cards.
The problem with Pearl Rhino here is, though, if we search for Chiron, which is the usual search with the cards, oh, okay, we can also, of course, go for Tearlaments Kashtira here. The card that we discard from hand is not going to hit the graveyard because of the Arclight, and therefore it's a lot weaker than it normally would.
Same with Tearlament Kashtira. The cards that we're going to send from the deck to the GUI are going to be banished.
Yeah. So the other thing, though, is he can just bring the Tearlaments Kashtira to the field and then try to run over the Herald of the Arclight. So never really giving him the... I mean, do you just negate it here? Oh.
Yes.
True, you're right. So we're banishing Tearlaments Salik from the graveyard. Now using the on-field effect of Tearlaments Kashtira.
You can mill cards from your opponent that are going to be banished, and now we are getting rid of the Doombroker, which is a key combo card for the Libromancer engine.
Indeed, true. So what's coming next? Normal summon Rhino Heart, and I mean, you can technically use the effect here, but it's not going to do anything.
You don't really want to.
Yeah, because it just gets rid of resources in your deck. And yeah, we're probably just going battle phase here.
I mean, now you're having 2 monsters on the field, which ensures that you are going to attack over the Herald of the Arclight.
Yep.
However, you just used your normal summon on Rhino Heart and did not activate the effect, and also the Herald of the Arclight can, of course, activate when you run over.
Herald of the Arclight, not only using the on-field effect to secure him having another turn, but also now again using the graveyard effect to search out Illusion of Chaos from the deck.
Illusion of Chaos is one of the most satisfying cards in the game. because you can search for Magician's Souls and then shuffle the card back into the deck, so you can use Magician's Souls to send it to the graveyard immediately. Oh, and we are using Mudora here, or we are having Mudora to activate Caldo from hand.
Oh yeah, we are instantly discarding the Mudora as cost. Also meaning that we are in main phase 2 now, of course.
Yeah. And having Shufflers in the graveyard versus the Ohime is massive.
It is indeed. And I mean, now we instantly have that Caldo live because it was discarded as cost. So even if Victor would try to chain here, he could instantly respond with the Caldo.
Oh, triple tactics thrust, and I think that Caldo was negated with
Oh yeah,
Baron.
otherwise it could never hit the graveyard, you're right.
And I don't know if that is the perfect approach for this. I mean, of course, the last card in hand being thrust is absolutely amazing here.
That is crazy because we just get to grab out instant fusion from our deck. Our opponent is controlling monsters. They have used a monster in the main monster effect in the main phase, and therefore we just get to grab a spell card and we can fetch out one of those also powerful one-off spell cards in our deck, and it is instant fusion here in that case.
And we know Victor does not have that much follow-up. We cannot use the effect of Pellerino just right now, because we are just summoning the Kid Colors. Usually every time you fusion summon you can use Pellerino, but it needs a Tearlament card to get sent back to the main deck, which is not the case with instant fusion.
Yeah, there comes instant fusion into Kid Colors. We are of course using the on-field effect, searching out for any Tearlaments card we like, and we love us some Tearlaments Merly here. That is the standard combo. And now Victor wants to respond with the effect of Ohime, trying to get that Reflection Rondo onto the field.
So Rondo is gonna go, and there might be two other cards that Caldo is going to target. So we are checking out the graveyard, taking back the Water Arabesque, and of course the Diviner of the Herald. So in a possible next turn, Victor, there will be a next turn because there is no battle phase anymore.
But
Victor
yeah,
is not going to be able to summon.
Not what the
Sprite
Shizu
Sprint.
cards are doing. We are not banishing, we are shuffling back into the deck.
Would also be strong.
I mean, yeah, basically the same thing. No, not really, but very, very similar. But as I said, we are going for that mill 8 play now, using the effect of Kid Colors to special summon out Merly from the hand and sending itself to the graveyard, triggering both effects, and that gets us to mill 8. And I see a Hafnis, I see Agido, I see Kelbag. That's a lot, because versus the Mikanko deck, versus the Mikanko Libromancer deck, you can probably just freely use all of your mill effects with Agido and with Kelbag. Also Scream was hit, so that is going to generate a lot of advantage here.
I mean, you're probably going to give your opponent back some of the equip spells. However, this deck also runs so many different one-offs that you don't want to draw, that you need to be in your deck when you want to search for them. So hitting those, getting those into the graveyard would be huge to stop the progress of Victor's plays.
Yeah, for example, cards like Fateful Adventure or... Oh look, it's double Talons right over Armesius. So far nothing crazy in terms of one-offs was hit, I would say.
Not even an Enchantress.
Yeah, Enchantress would be a good mill for him. But there is no Enchantress overall, I think. Those 10 cards were not really doing anything. Like, it was fine for him to get those into the graveyard, I would say. Some equip spells actually were sent to the graveyard, so Ohime has targets live again, which is good for him.
But Ohime already activated the effect. That's what the Caldo responded to. So Ohime this turn not going to do that much. Also,
it is going to go back to the hand in the end phase, right? Because it was summoned out with the quick spell, so with the Great Mikanko Ceremony.
Try to have to pop it with Pellerino, or just send it back with the Kaleido Heart. I think
yeah, just shuffle it back into the deck. That also works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And we're also going to use the effect of Pellerino to get rid of the Baron. So we're really breaking the entire field of Victor here. He's sending the Baron to the graveyard, and the Ohime is going back to the deck.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I would have liked it more the other way around. I mean, it's rough. You don't want your opponent to have the opportunity to summon Baron back, but you also don't want your opponent to have more Ohimes in his deck, which could be a problem next turn as well.
So, if I have to take a guess, I'm thinking that he was going to go for the shuffle because there was something on the card text which he had to translate first about not being able to be destroyed.
Oh.
It is by battle, but I would take the 50 chance before asking a judge and just shuffle that one back, so I don't mess up my place and clear the entire board.
Yeah, true.
Also, you don't want to give your opponent access to Baron again.
So, and we are passing it over to Victor. Victor going into main phase and now looking for his graveyard for his second effort. He's just picking up his graveyard to go into game 2, but he's just checking what is in there. What resources does he have left in his deck? And we're starting things off here. Ooh, look at that. We go for a Libromancer agent first of all, revealing the illusion of chaos that was known in the hand. And I think we are using, we're using Tearlaments Rule Colors, sending Tearlaments Kashtira from our field to the hand to deny that agent. Also, the Tearlaments Kashtira is triggering in the graveyard, milling 2 more cards, but those have no impact on progressing Tim's game state. Now we use Illusion of Chaos.
And we just accept that this game might just be over, because if you activate something, Rule Colors can just happen. Or did he activate Rule Colors on the first one?
Yes, he did already use the Rule Colors on the agent, but very, very, very unfortunate outcome here for Victor, because he actually had the chance to go first here with a super heavy combo-orientated deck.
Super heavy bricks.
And he just opened all of the cards that he does not want to open usually, and therefore game number 1 goes to Tim Schafer and his Tearlaments deck. But let's have a look. What are the side deck options that both players are now able to use? First of all, of course, it's going to be interesting to see what Victor is bringing in, because his deck already is so powerful in going first. So does he even play more options in going first? And let me give you the answer, because he's definitely going to go first. I can never, ever see him go second with this deck here, ever, ever again. And yeah, when I look for his side deck, there's basically only going second options. And therefore, I don't expect him to change up his main deck too much, but maybe he's bringing in a couple of Bystials, right?
Bystials are super powerful against Tearlaments, especially if you have Magnamut. You also get follow-up, because this deck just does not give up that easily. You can interrupt it in 1 turn, but in the next turn, you might actually just instantly lose, because the deck is just that powerful. By the way, pretty interesting. Talk about post-Forbidden and Limited list.
Yeah,
Bystials might be more in the side deck.
True, absolutely.
Because Tearlament might not be that popular anymore, because this is really dominant right now, and with the new Forbidden and Limited list, we might see less Tearlament in the field, so Bystials might take up a lot of space in these side decks.
For sure. And now the interesting part is, what is Tim Schafer going to do? Because he now is going second, and he definitely has his side deck prepared for going second as well. First of all, of course, there's also Bystials in there. And how do you like Bystials versus the Adventurer, Mikanko, Libromancer deck?
There is room for them.
Yeah.
So when Sprite Elf wants to summon back a Herald, then you can go for a Bystial, which is pretty powerful, because you really want this Herald to resolve, because otherwise you might not get to your Ohime.
Yep.
On the other hand, the other important cards that you cannot banish, because the Bystials, unlike DD Crow, can only banish light and darkness monsters.
That's a big problem.
The other cards are Equip Spells and Water Enchantress, maybe.
I think overall, your opponent can already set up too many negates to actually interrupt on your Bystials, because that would be too late in your combo to really interrupt you. Therefore, I don't think Bystials are going to be great. But let's see it. Let's see what Game 2 here of our Round 4 featured match brings. Let's get back into the action.
We are going to see if Victor starts again. I am pretty sure he does.
Yes, I cannot see any. Oh, and I already see a Nibiru in the hand of Tim. That could be harsh, but let's see. I think the hand of Victor immediately looks a lot better, because I see, I see Talons, and of course the Rite of Aramazia. And activating Rite of Aramazia usually means you have a negate with the Griffin Rider, but in that deck specifically, it also means you're basically en route to perform your combo, because you can also search out the card that he early on drew in his hand and could do nothing with, but this time he could use it for combo purposes. He could actually use that, what was its name again?
Relic.
Yeah, the Relic. He could use Relic as a material for the Isolde.
But Tim also has Kalbeck in hand, and Kalbeck could be really interesting. He is now going to normal summon Libromancer Fire, and that is an interesting point, because He is now going to search for the Draco Bag, of course, add it to the hand, and then summon Griffin Rider and discard the Draco Bag. So no effect from Libromancer Fire. If he had special summoned it and then added the Draco Bag, then... Oh wait, no, that doesn't... Okay, now, okay, I'm back on track now. So he's going to activate Fateful Adventure.
Yeah.
Add the Griffin Rider, or the Relic.
Yeah, we're adding the Relic here. That's
discarding a card, and then... No, that was Agido. I'm complete.
Okay, I see. You're totally en route here to figure this out.
Over for a second,
yeah,
please?
of course. No, Victor, I think, definitely has a couple of options here. He has a couple of routes to go, and he is using the discard for
no,
the
exactly.
Draco
He can summon the Kelbeck now. And
yeah, not just yet. Not just yet, I would say.
Yes.
Because, oh wait, yeah,
he can on the discard. I didn't get it wrong. I was just confused for a little second.
Yeah. After the discard, Draco Bag will actually activate as Chain Link number 1, and then we're going to have the Kelbeck being activated as Chain Link number 2, and therefore we could give one monster on the field back to the hand, and the token just disappears in that case.
So Relic will not be special summoned. The token is going to disappear. You are absolutely right. And this was a really good interaction here, but Triple Tactic Talents is looking good.
Absolutely. But the thing is, I do believe we have to actually draw cards here. Yeah, and that's what he's doing. He has to draw cards here because at the moment we do not have any extenders in our hand, and we need another monster on the board. We need more monsters to actually go into stuff. And let's see whether he found something he can do stuff with here. Okay, I mean, that is of course a card that also works. He is going for the Mikanko Water Arabesque, and that gets you going into your Mikanko engine, of course.
Not ideal to give your opponent a Kelbeck back to hand, gotta be honest there.
That's true,
but it does the job right now.
There comes the Hari, and Hari now the warrior monster, level 3 fire warrior monster from Amazing Defenders. Again, he's just using that one card, and he was like, hey, if I only play one of it, I might as well take the Collector's Rare. I might as well do that. So, where is he getting this time? We now have to consider, though, that there is no negate on the board, and we know that Tim also has Nibiru in hand, which could be very, very, very strong here.
Now we are going to see the Mikanko Fire Dance.
Yeah, for the first time.
That was cute.
For the first time in this match. Quick read by Tim. Yep, that's fine.
So he can just link those two monsters away in a second, and then special summon back the Hari, the Sword Mikanko, with the Fire Dance.
It looks like it could be the plan, and the thing though is, yeah, we cannot actually go into Isolde there, because only the Hari was a warrior, but not the Libromancer Fire, and therefore we gotta go into the ferocious Flame Swordsman
and
there.
Nibiru hits the field before we can link away the Flame Swordsman and Hari for the Isolde in the end. And I was gonna say, we finally see a Flame Swordsman card being summoned in a featured match of us.
Yep, but it isn't sticking onto the field for long. And now there's only the Nibiru token on the side of Victor, and we saw his hand. I don't think he can extend any further here. I think that Nibiru really might be the end of a turn here for Victor.
Yeah, it is immediately, and he also does not even have the chance to summon the Druid's Worm in his hand, which he might actually not want to, because it is a good interruption. But now we are seeing the Pelarino. We have given back the Kelbeck to hand, so you can just search for Shiren, activate it, discard Kelbeck, and mill 8.
Yep, that sounds beautiful for Tim. And I mean, it's of course very strong for him to open the Pelarino back-to-back. Here in game number 1 and in game number 2. He is, as you said, just using the Shiren. I would be surprised if he's not going for the Kelbeck discard. Of course he is going to do that. We're milling 3 now for Shiren. There was one Halfness amongst that, and we're using Halfness as well, of course. Chaining 1 Halfness, chaining 2 Kelbeck. Let's see, are we chaining the Druid's Worm here just on the first fusion effect, or are we holding it for a little bit?
I think you want to activate it. You are not sure if your opponent is going to hit a second name with the Kelbeck. And you're in a really bad spot right now, so you might as well just try your luck here.
You're probably just trying to secure getting a monster onto the field, I guess, because your opponent already has a 3000 attack monster on board. He can probably just pop the token, and when he gets to shufflers in his graveyard, then yeah, you can just deny your opponent from summoning the Druid's Womb later on.
And he has hit the Rhino Heart, and he also has Salik in hand already. So this is the perfect discard to summon back Rhino Heart. Add another monster to your hand, being the Tearlaments Kashtira, sending the Shiren as another name to the grave, and now starting to fusion summon.
Yep, and I can already see a Kaleido Heart coming down here for the rest of the turn at some point, because you are trying to get rid of that Druid's Womb without destroying it in some way, because that would trigger its graveyard effect, and therefore Kaleido Heart seems like a pretty good way to get around that.
You could have even summoned it already with the Merly from hand, go into the Kaleido Heart, shuffle back the Druid's Womb, pop the token, and then summon Tearlaments Kashtira from hand, and just go for game.
Yeah, true. So we are now using the Pearl Rhino effect to get rid of that Nibiru token that was there on the opponent's side of the field. And we keep on going, searching for Tearlaments Scream here. Interesting decision, because I don't think the attack reduction here is going to seal the deal in that situation. You're just trying to get as much damage onto the board as possible, I would assume. But he wants that extra mill, I would assume. So he wants to secure hitting another fusion name here. So we are using Kit Colors on itself, getting out the Merly. Oh, no, we're trying to get... Is that... Yeah, that Rhino Heart is not going...
vanished now. This is interesting.
Yeah, so that actually may make it hard for him to get access to Kaleido Heart. So I don't know about that.
I mean, we are going to see if he hits anything on this middle 6. It's Hafnes and Shiren. Both have already been used. You basically have to go into a Sprite Sprint with the Nibiru now, which takes away... Okay, we have 2 more mills with the Tearlaments Kashtira. And you're hitting Shiren and Talon, so you basically have to get rid of your own Nibiru, which is really strong sitting there with the 3000 attack points. Also, I don't think there is a way to actually access the Rhino Heart, the Kaleido Heart, but you can use Kashtira to summon itself.
Yeah, Tearlaments Kashtira coming onto the field. I mean, that's a lot of attack points, but the problem is now we are not actually getting rid of the graveyard effect of Druid's Womb. I mean, we can mill another 2 cards, or no, even 3 cards, and we hit the Merly with the effect of Tearlaments Kashtira, and that's huge here. But we have no access to Rhino Heart anymore.
That is indeed true, so let's see what Merly is going to summon now. Do you have any idea? We can go into the Roll Colors, which is not the best one. I think there is a good chance that you are going... Okay, no, we are
I think just
not
Garura is making... is actually giving you a lot of treasure too. Yeah, there is the Garura. And I think even if we are going after the Nibiru here, it might be rough. It might not. It might still be enough. So we're running
for the Garura
over...
here. Definitely. And that gives your opponent a draw. But it would let you end on, I think this is 1,000 life points.
So, he's going after the Nibiru though, but that means...
game, no?
I think we have game on board here.
1-3 from Merly, 2-8 or 2-7 from Kashtira, and 4,000 from Garura.
That sounds like game to me. But let's figure it out. Tim is already smiting. I think Tim sees it on here as well. He's actually he's declaring 2 attacks with it, but it's only double effect damage, or only double battle damage actually. So Victor is realizing that Pearl Rhino is also boosting Vigarura, and I think Tim is explaining it to Victor here that we are having game on board, and therefore Tim should take game number 2 here, and that is the Fist Bomb. Tim coming out victoriously, taking round number 4 here with a clean 2-0 over Victor and his Libromancer Mikanko deck.
Victor is smiling, offering a fist bump. Of course, he is not too happy about how this game went, because he was able to start twice, but Hafnes was too good. Kalbeck was too good, especially together with Nibiru. Kalbeck is really a perfect answer to the Adventure Engine, because before you are able to extend any further to the field, the Kalbeck will trigger off of the discard that you have from Fateful Adventure, get rid of the token and stop the entire engine.
Absolutely. So I have 2 main topics I want to tackle with you now. So first of all, because we couldn't really see it, what is the end board that this Libromancer Adventure Mikanko deck is trying to go for? Because people could not actually see it in action, so maybe you could explain them what is going to end up being on the field there in theory.
I will happily do so. In the end, you will see Archlord Christia.
Yes, the old card. What set was it? I think SOVR? Wasn't that the release set? Yeah.
Stardust Overdrive?
Yes!
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
It will be protected by equip spells. Protected from destruction.
Indeed.
Broadload Savage Dragon is an option.
Yes.
Of course, Herald of the Arclight is an option.
Indeed.
Apollousa with 3 counters that cannot be destroyed is an option as well, because you are using the token to go into IP Masquerena, because you cannot use it for Apollousa.
Baron de Fleur as well, of course.
Baron de Fleur is an option. And what you also do, so you do not lose to cards like the Dark Ruler no more, which has been so popular ever since it came out.
Oh yeah, true.
You have Libromancer Doombroker with the Intervention.
Yeah, the intervention as well, so you can also negate a Dark Ruler no more. So your end board, in theory, is amazing, but honestly, with the release of the Kashtira archetype, a lot more of the Tearlaments players are on Nibiru again, because Nibiru is very powerful versus the Kashtira deck.
It is insane versus the Kashtira deck.
And therefore, the combo decks are also a little bit struggling, because Nibiru, as we just saw, is also very good versus this combo deck, for example. And therefore, it's really, really rough. And yeah, it's kind of tough for him all in all. And second of all, do you think the deck is going to be more powerful now with the release of the new Forbidden and Limited list from next week on? Do you think it's a big contender?
I think that Sprite Elf definitely is going to be missing.
True.
You want to special summon out the Herald of the Arclight or Gale Dogra in some situations.
For sure.
Because you cannot use the effect if you normal summon the monsters. So you cannot really profit off of that. Players will have to find a different solution to the problem of not being able to normal summon, maybe not play the adventure engine and find something else. But first, we want to hear from our winner, so Ed, take it away.
Thank you, Leo. Yes, I am here with Tim, who's just taken round 4. Congratulations, Tim. So that was Tear versus the Libromancer Mikanko. Have you been up against that deck before?
Yes, just yesterday in the 3v3 I played against a friend from my regionals, and he just also played the deck. So I kind of knew what the cards do, but it was still pretty new for me.
I mean, you actually handled it incredibly well. We're going to go through that, but that was a 2-game win, which is pretty good. Are you feeling pretty confident after that?
Yes, so especially after not having the best start. I lost round 1, but now I think I got my confidence back.
What were you against in round 1?
Against the Draco Slayer deck, and Necro Alley is a kind of good card against my deck.
Yeah, it's the one thing that a lot of the Tier players fear is Draco Slayer, but that's very, very interesting to hear. But like we said, a 2-game victory in here, so let's go through that. So there were a lot of moments where he was using Water Arabesque to use your cards to build his field. Herald of the Arclight sort of made you had to deal with that before, but then you managed to get into a lot of the other things in there, and then obviously built a huge field which Victor couldn't break. So at that point, were you feeling relatively confident going into the second game?
Yes, and especially after I realized that I made a mistake by forgetting Salik. So I kind of got my focus back and tried to remember all the cards. Besides the one I forgot in game 2, the Rhino Heart. I wanted to make Kaleido Heart to shuffle back the Druid Swarm, but I forgot that Rhino Heart gets banished.
It doesn't matter. You got the game in the end, so we'll talk about game 2 now. Victor was building, pretty solid field, but you Nibiru'd him, and that started to be the beginning of the end. And then you built a huge field, popped the Nib token with the Pellerino, continued to build the field, and then he used Druid's Worm to send Nib to the grave, and he should have sent Garura. Yes. Because that has double battle damage at that point?
Yeah, especially with the field spell, he hits pretty hard. But I don't think he knew that Garura gets boosted as well, and I don't even think many people remember the double damage thing.
I mean, it worked in your favor, because I think all of us watching, the second that happened, went, oh, I should have gone for the Garura, but then you took it for game. So congratulations, a very, very good win. Aside from the Draco Slayer that you've been up against, is there anything that you're really not wanting to go up against for the rest of the tournament?
I don't think so. I'm pretty confident against all of the decks. I think my deck is pretty good built for Flunder and Kashtira. I think those are pretty hard matchups, especially if they drew the shifter. But yeah, I think my deck is pretty good against those as well.
It seemed like a super consistent deck. You were getting a lot of mills, and even mills where you didn't manage to get what you needed, another mill would come out, and then you'd find something. So super consistent, a very well-built deck. I hope it takes you very far in this. Well done again. But don't go anywhere, guys, because we're going to have round 5 hopefully very soon. But if we're not going to have it soon, there'll be a quiz or something. Stick around.